The urge to text can feel like survival. Not because you are weak, but because your nervous system learned that contact equals safety. When you are anxious attached, silence does not feel neutral. It feels like the floor moved. Your mind might call it overthinking, but your body calls it threat. You feel tight in your chest, your stomach drops, your thoughts race, you cannot focus, and one action feels like it would fix everything. Send the message, get the reply, restore the bond. In this episode, we are going to do something different. We are going to run a signs plus capacity filter on that urge, so you stop confusing urgency with intuition. You will learn how to tell whether your urge is a nervous system alarm, whether the relationship structure is actually unsafe, and what to do in the next 60 minutes so you do not trade your dignity for temporary relief. If this kind of clarity helps your nervous system settle, subscribe. PsychBond is a daily decoder for psychology, relationships, and avoidant and anxious attachment patterns, so you stop guessing. Now, let us separate two truths that can both be true at the same time. Truth 1. Your urge to text is real. It is physical. It is not just thoughts. Truth 2. Texting to soothe the urge can make the urge stronger over time, especially with inconsistent people. Because your brain learns a simple rule: panic equals action. Action equals relief. Relief equals safety. And then, the next time you feel panic, your brain demands action faster. That is the loop. The goal today is not to turn you into someone who never texts. The goal is to stop letting the urge drive your behavior when the urge is not giving you truth. So, let us define what the urge actually is. The urge to text is an attachment activation response. Your nervous system senses uncertainty. It tries to close the gap. It tries to restore predictability. It tries to get a signal that you are still chosen, still safe, still connected. In secure bonds, that urge is smaller because the baseline is stable. In unstable bonds, the urge becomes intense because your body is constantly trying to solve an unsolved problem. Now, here is the sign that this is a nervous system urge and not a wise signal. The urge feels like you cannot wait. It feels like you must act right now. It feels like your mood depends on the reply. It feels like you are in danger if you do not do something. That urgency is not romance. That urgency is threat. And when threat is driving, you will often do one of three things. You will chase, you will over-explain, or you will perform calmness. All three are attempts to earn safety. All three can backfire with someone who does not have capacity. So, we are going to install the filter. Signs plus capacity filter means we separate feelings from evidence. We separate chemistry from structure. We separate warmth from reliability. We look at the signs and we ask one question: does this person have capacity? Capacity is the ability to be consistent, communicate, repair, and follow through. If they have capacity, your nervous system can settle over time. If they do not, your nervous system will keep firing, no matter how perfect you are. So, the filter has two parts. First, signs. What signs are present right now that trigger the urge? Second, capacity. What has this person shown over time about their ability to build safety? Let us start with the signs, because this is where you stop blaming yourself. There are 5 common signs that trigger the survival urge. Sign 1 is unpredictable timing. Replies that shift from fast to slow without explanation. plans that appear and vanish, contact that comes in bursts. When timing is unpredictable, your body stays on alert. Sign 2 is closeness followed by distance. A good night, a deep talk, intimacy, then a drop the next day. This trains your brain to scan right after warmth. Sign 3 is vague language. Maybe. We will see. Soon. Busy. Later. Without a return time. Vague language keeps your nervous system in suspension. Sign 4 is partial access. They watch your story, like a post, send a casual "hey," but avoid real conversation. That creates being seen without being held. Sign 5 is repair avoidance. When something goes wrong, they skip the conversation and try to reset with sweetness. Those 5 signs make the urge explode because your body is reading a pattern, not a moment. Now let us move to capacity, because this is where your power returns. Capacity is not their intention. Capacity is not their words. Capacity is what they can sustain. Here are the capacity markers for this exact situation. Marker 1. Do they communicate during stress? A person with capacity can say, "I am slammed today. I will talk tomorrow." Marker 2. Do they offer a return time when they need space? A person with capacity does not leave you guessing. Marker 3. Do they repair after a rupture? Repair means naming what happened, owning the impact, and changing one behavior next time. Marker 4. Do they follow through on plans? Marker 5. Do they respond to clarity with honesty rather than blame? If these markers are present, your urge may still show up, but the relationship can become safer. If these markers are absent, your urge is not a personal flaw. It is your body reacting to an unsafe structure. Now let us talk about the most common mistake anxious people make. They treat the urge as a signal that they should fix something. But the urge is often just your body asking for predictability. That predictability can come from 2 places. It can come from them, if they have capacity, or it can come from you, through your boundaries and your routine. If you keep trying to get predictability only from them, you will become dependent on their reply for regulation. That is what makes the urge feel like survival. So, we need a 2-lane approach. Lane 1. Regulate your body in the moment. Lane 2. Run the capacity filter and decide what structure you require. Let us do Lane 1 first. What do you do in the next 60 minutes when the urge hits? Step 1. Name it. This is an attachment alarm, not a fact. Step 2. Pause 10 minutes, not to play games, to interrupt conditioning. Step 3. Do a body action, not a thinking action. Drink water. Eat a few bites of protein. Walk for 3 minutes. Stretch your jaw and shoulders. Exhale slowly, longer than you inhale, for 5 breaths. Your body needs a safety signal. Step 4. Reduce cues. Move the chat thread off your screen. Put the phone face down. Step 5. Write the message you want to send in notes, not in the chat. This removes the immediate reward loop. If after 10 minutes you still want to send something, now you send it through the filter, not through panic. Now, Lane 2. The filter asks, what is my purpose for texting? There are only 2 healthy purposes: clarity or connection. Clarity is asking once so you can live in reality. Connection is sharing something warm when the bond is already safe. Most anxious texts during a spiral are not clarity or connection. They are relief-seeking. Relief-seeking texts sound like reassurance requests disguised as normal conversation, or they sound like long explanations to prevent abandonment, or they sound like attempts to keep the person engaged so the fear stops. So here is the first question. If I send this text, am I trying to get proof, or am I trying to get relief? If it is relief, do not send it yet. Regulate first. Then ask the second question. Has this person shown capacity? Because if they do not have capacity, your relief text may buy you a short reply, but it will cost you long-term peace. Now, let us make this brutally practical with examples. Example 1. The silent gap. You sent a message. It has been hours. Your body is buzzing. Hope thinking says, send another message so they do not forget you. Proof thinking says, pause. Then ask, is this person generally consistent, or do they create gaps without explanation? If they are consistent, and this is rare, you can send one clean check-in later. If they are inconsistent, and this is common, do not chase. Chasing teaches your brain that your dignity is negotiable. Example 2. The day after closeness. You had a connected night. Next day, they are colder. Your urge to text is not random. It is your body predicting the drop. Hope thinking says, fix it. Proof thinking says, this is a capacity test moment. If they have capacity, they will stay steady or communicate space. If they do not, your text will not create safety. So you do not send a performance text. You send a structure text if needed. Something like, I enjoyed being close. If you need space today, tell me and give me a time you will reconnect. That is not a chase. That is a boundary. Example 3. The vague plan. They say soon. Your body wants to lock it down, so you text again. Hope thinking says, be patient. Proof thinking says, soon without a date is not a plan. So you ask once, what day works for you? If they cannot answer, you have information. Example 4. The indirect contact. They like your story but do not reply. Your urge is to text and pull them in. Proof thinking says, that is access testing. Do not reward it with full engagement. If they want connection, they can communicate directly. Example 5. The warm return after distance. They come back sweet. Your urge is to respond fast and reset. Proof thinking says a return is not a reset. Warmth is not repair. So you slow down and require structure before full access. Now we need to talk about the second layer of the urge. The urge is not only about them. It is also about the story you are telling about yourself. When someone goes quiet, anxious attachment often creates 3 story options. Option 1. I did something wrong. Option 2. They are losing interest. Option 3. I am not chosen. Those stories can feel like facts in your body, but they are often interpretations. The signs plus capacity filter is how you stop living inside interpretation. Because even if the worst story is true, the right move is still the same. You require structure and you measure behavior. You do not self-abandon to keep access. Now, let us talk about what not to do, because this is where people lose the most ground. Do not send paragraphs. Paragraphs feel like control, but they create pressure and they reveal anxiety. Do not apologize for asking for clarity. Do not send multiple check-ins. Do not write messages designed to appear chill when you are not chill. Do not stalk their profile, then punish yourself. Those behaviors keep you attached to the loop. Now let us talk about what to do instead. You use 3 scripts, and you choose based on capacity. Script 1 is the clarity script. I enjoy you. I want something steady. What can you offer? Script 2 is the space structure script. If you need space, tell me and give me a return time. Script 3 is the boundary script. I am not available for unpredictable contact. If you cannot do consistency and repair, I will step back. These scripts are short for a reason. An anxious nervous system wants to talk more, but more words are not more safety. More structure is more safety. Now, let us address the fear that keeps you from using these scripts. The fear is, if I ask for structure, I will push them away. Here is the adult truth. If a bond can only survive when you stay unclear and silent, it is not a secure bond. It is a bond built on you shrinking. That is why your body feels unsafe. So, yes, structure can push some people away. The people it pushes away are people who wanted access without accountability. That is not loss. That is clarity. Now, let us make the capacity filter even sharper with a simple score you can do in your head. Not a complicated checklist. 3 questions. After closeness, do they stay steady or do they withdraw? When they withdraw, do they communicate and offer a return time, or do they leave you guessing? When you name the pattern calmly, do they repair or do they blame? If the answers are steady, return time, repair, your nervous system can settle with time. If the answers are withdraw, guess, blame, your nervous system will keep firing and your urge to text will keep feeling like survival because the structure is unsafe. Now, let us talk about the part that feels harsh but saves you years. Your urge to text is often your body trying to turn hope into proof. You are trying to convert a feeling into a structure. You text because you want certainty. But certainty does not come from more texts. It comes from patterns. A consistent person will give you certainty through their behavior without you begging for it. An inconsistent person will keep you uncertain no matter how perfect your texts are. So do not confuse effort with influence. You cannot text someone into capacity. You can only observe capacity and choose accordingly. Now, I want to speak to the avoidant listener for a moment, because this will help the anxious listener stop personalizing. If you are avoidant, you might not realize that your silence creates physical symptoms in the other person. You might think space is neutral. It is not neutral to an anxious system. Silence is not quiet. It is alarm. So, if you want connection, your job is simple. Communicate space with a return time. I feel overwhelmed. I am not upset with you. I need a day. I will check in tomorrow evening. That one sentence preserves trust. It gives you space without giving them panic. If you cannot do that, you will keep recreating the same cycle and calling it incompatibility when it is actually a regulation problem. Now let us talk about how to stop the urge long-term, not just in the moment. The long-term fix is not willpower. It is changing what your nervous system is exposed to. Your nervous system is shaped by repetition, so you build 2 habits. First, you reduce exposure to unpredictable people. That sounds obvious, but many anxious people keep dating unpredictability because it feels intense. Second, you increase exposure to your own stability. Routine, sleep, food, movement, friends, work, creativity. When your life has multiple sources of regulation, one person cannot become your oxygen. Then your urge shrinks because your body is not hanging on one thread. Now, let us put this into a 7-day proof window that helps you decide without spiraling for months. Day 1. You stop acting on the first urge. You practice 10-minute pauses. Day 2. You ask one clarity question once. Day 3. You request one measurable structure, a plan with a day and time, or a call time. Day 4. You watch follow-through. Day 5. You name one need calmly and watch whether they punish or lean in. Day 6. If there is a rupture, you require repair before normal. Day 7. You decide based on pattern, not the best moment. This is how you stop being controlled by the urge, not by never feeling it, but by refusing to live in a structure that keeps producing it. Before we close, I want to give you the missing piece that turns this into a real skill. Most anxious people think the problem is the urge itself. The real problem is the collapse of your internal authority when the urge hits. You forget the pattern, forget your standards, and you start negotiating with a feeling. So the skill is having a default decision tree you follow even when you are activated. First, is this person generally consistent? If yes, send one simple connection text and move on with your day. If no, do not send a soothing text. Send a structure text or send nothing. Second, if you send a structure text, you send it once and stop. One time. Then you watch behavior. Third, if the person responds with blame, vagueness, or silence, you do not chase a capacity problem. You step back. This decision tree changes everything because it stops you from turning anxious energy into free emotional labor for someone who is not building with you. Now, let us name the phone loop under the texting urge. In an anxious system, the phone becomes a threat and relief device. Threat is no new message. Relief is a message arrives. When your brain experiences that contrast repeatedly, it starts checking compulsively. Not because you are obsessed with them, because your brain is trying to end the threat state. The problem is that checking keeps you in threat because it refreshes uncertainty. So, you replace checking with one body action first. Stand up. Put both feet on the ground. Drop your shoulders. Exhale slowly. Then, check once at a planned time, not continuously. That small change breaks conditioning. Now, let us address what happens when you already sent the text. If you already double-texted, do not punish yourself with more. Do not send a third message to explain the second. The next move is still the same. Stop. Your dignity does not come from perfect behavior. It comes from your next choice. You can stop feeding the loop right now. Now, let us separate a healthy urge from a trauma urge. A healthy urge is light. It feels like, I want to share this. A trauma urge is sharp. It feels like, I need to do this to survive. If you are crafting the message to prevent them from leaving, it is a trauma urge. If you are sharing because the bond is already steady, it is a healthy urge. Now, here is the capacity test that protects you. You send one message that is calm, short, and specific. I like you. I want something steady. If you need space, tell me and give me a return time. Can you do that? That message is not pressure. It is a reality check. If they cannot do it, you stop negotiating. If they can, you watch whether they follow through the next time. This is how your urge shrinks long-term. Every time you pause instead of chasing, you teach your nervous system that you can survive uncertainty. Every time you require structure, you teach your nervous system that you can protect yourself without becoming cold. Within a few weeks, the urge loses power because your body starts trusting you. Let us make this even more practical with 2 short scenes that show you what to do instead of spiraling. Scene 1 is the delayed reply. You sent a normal message. Hours pass. Your body wants to send another one to keep access. Pause and run the filter. Is this person usually steady, or do they create gaps without explanation? If they are usually steady, you do not panic. You wait and you keep living. If they are usually inconsistent, you do not chase. You use 1 structure line later, not 2, not 3. I am open to talking. If you need space, tell me and give me a time you will reconnect. Then you stop. Scene 2 is the day after closeness. You had a warm night, then you wake up scanning. Your brain wants reassurance. Your body wants contact. This is where you choose proof. You do not write a paragraph. You do not act extra chill. You name the structure once. I enjoyed being close with you. I notice distance after closeness sometimes. If you need space today, tell me and give me a return time. A person with capacity can answer. A person without capacity will dodge. Either way, you get information. Now, here is a simple 7-day proof window you can run so you do not stay stuck for months. Day 1. You practice the 10-minute pause before you text. Day 2. You ask 1 clarity question once. Day 3. You request 1 measurable structure, a plan with a day and time or a call time. Day 4. You watch follow-through without chasing. Day 5. You name 1 need calmly and watch whether they punish or lean in. Day 6. If there is a rupture, you require repair before normal. Day 7. You decide based on pattern, not the best moment. This is not control. This is self-respect. It keeps you from turning your nervous system into a negotiation table where you keep lowering standards to stop discomfort. And if you are listening and thinking, what if they leave when I ask for structure? Remember this. If a bond can only survive when you stay unclear, it is not safe. A safe bond can handle 1 calm request for predictability. One last reminder for the anxious listener. Do not confuse silence with a challenge you must solve. Silence is either a normal gap inside a consistent pattern, or it is a sign of low capacity inside an inconsistent pattern. Your job is not to decode their inner world. Your job is to protect your body. You do that by regulating first, asking for structure once, and measuring what happens next. That is how you stop letting the urge run your life and keep your self-respect intact. Now, let us close with the truth your body is trying to teach you. Your urge to text is not proof you are too much. It is proof your body wants safety. Safety is predictability, repair, and consistency. If you have those, your urge becomes gentle. If you do not have those, your urge becomes urgent. Stop shaming the urge. Use it as a signal to run the filter. What signs are present? What capacity exists? Then, choose the action that protects your nervous system. Sometimes that action is a calm clarity message. Sometimes that action is no action. Sometimes that action is stepping back. But you will stop making moves that are designed to earn safety from someone who does not have the capacity to offer it. Welcome to PsychBond. You're safe here.